Hello, welcome back to Open. Our first guests today are part of a 6-part production focusing on different regions of the globe. And this year, the spotlight shines on the Caribbean and is skillfully interconnected through drama, singing, dancing. And well, to give us a better idea of this beautiful production, we welcome Raquel Miller, founder of Nycoda, and Marcelino Feliciano, a jazz vocalist, and Greer Morrison, producer, singer, actress, to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So, Raquel, just share with everyone a little bit about Nycoda and your new ventures, please.
Oh, yes.
Nycoda stands for?
Good question. Nycoda is the new International Center of Diverse Artists. And we're basically a performing arts organization whose core mission is to unite people of different cultures and ethnicities through performing arts.
That's beautiful. And we've actually showcased some of your performers, and they actually come from different parts of the world. And this year, you've actually joined forces with, well, actually, you're inspired by National Geographic, but they've also assisted you in this new project, right, of how we are connected.
Yes, we were inspired to produce a performing arts response to the Genographic Project. The Genographic Project, for those of you who may not know, is actually an ongoing anthropology study that charts human migrations throughout the world. We're looking at the whole of human history going back almost 60,000 years. And we were inspired to produce that in theater.
Okay, so obviously this is going to take a while, right? Because we have a whole world to conquer.
Yeah,
right. And so this year you guys are focusing on the Caribbean. So Marcelino, you are from?
I'm from Puerto Rico.
Okay, so is that your character is geared in that direction?
Yes, it's funny you should say character, because a big part of the production is that we're actually sharing our personal experiences. So we're not necessarily making up stuff. It's just real. We're sharing our personal life and how it relates to the entire world, which is pretty fascinating, because a lot about us that we think we know, but we don't really know, and we find out it's much different than we think.
That's very fascinating. It's because I can totally see what you mean by that.
Right, right.
And Greer?
Absolutely. I'm from Jamaica.
Okay.
And the interconnectedness that we've discovered through the process of developing the pieces that we're going to be performing has just drawn us closer together, so that we come to this greater understanding that we are connected, that through DNA, through genographics, through our own related histories, we're more connected than we're disconnected.
Okay, so this is obviously about humanity and our way of actually to help us better understand exactly what our purpose is here, existing together, right?
Yeah.
Even though we have our cultural differences. Now, how did you find this information? Like, through their personal experiences? You know, like, did you do DNAs on them and we go back into your background and then you staged it? And how did you do that?
Well, when I first conceived of the program, I thought that after we cast the production, I wanted to have a % of the cast go through the DNA background research, so that we could actually have scientific information about where their ancestors came from. But I also thought that I wanted a part of the cast to represent the millions of people throughout the world who in fact do not have this information about themselves. And so what is the approach then to how we see ourselves in the world? How do we connect with others even when we do not have the science to go behind it? Is there a deeper meaning and a responsibility that we have, regardless of not having science to back us up?
Wow, you guys got more than you bargained for. Not only do you get to perform on stage, you got to do a whole background check on yourself.
It was pretty deep.
Yeah.
It was pretty deep.
Yeah.
So, okay, you have to share, because you're like really in there. We're like, what was so deep about it? He was like, it's pretty deep. It's pretty deep.
Well, because, you know, as a Latino, as a Puerto Rican, right? You're Puerto Rican. We raise the flag, we're Puerto Ricans, right? Most people may or may not be aware of the fact that, you know, Puerto Rico is Africa, Taino, Indian, Spain. And that's where it ends, right? But that's not where it ends. That's not even where it begins. I mean, when they traced my DNA and they took it back some 50,000 years to Africa, to the motherland. I mean, now the word motherland to me means something totally different.
Absolutely.
And you say, okay, so I knew that, but where does it go from there? And it traces its way. It trickles into Asia. It trickles into parts of Europe. It goes up into Ireland. I'm Irish. I didn't even know it. And then, it tips into Spain. And of course, we know from there, Europe, who had its issues,
exactly,
brought themselves
right,
and the African slaves
right,
into the Caribbean islands,
right,
and now you have another
a whole other branch. For me, what I discovered was that my mitochondrial Eve, that is the first Eve, is from a lineage that is one of the oldest lineages in Africa, and that particular mitochondrial Eve's descendants stayed the longest in Africa and did not migrate out of Africa until the slave trade. So for me, that meant, we were happy, shiny, happy people in Africa until something other than our choice led us from that. And I say us because I feel that connection, even though we're talking 50,000 years ago.
Wow, this is so fascinating. We can do a whole show just on this, right? And that's exactly what you guys did. That's exactly what you did.
Exactly.
However, you do it in musical form and vignettes, right?
Yes.
So share a little bit about what people should expect coming to see this show, because this is so fascinating.
Well, this is a show that really talks about our shared history, our shared cultural histories. It's the folklore that came out of that, and it's all of those stories. What are the similarities in those stories? And that's all a part of the dramaturg. So there's a narrative, and there's music, and there's dance, and there's interpretive dance, and it's really shaping up to be a wonderful piece.
So how many performers are there all together?
There are 13 of
13 of us?
There are 13.
And they're representing different Caribbean islands.
Yep.
Correct.
Yes.
Nice. And you guys are going to give us a taste of a musical portion of it.
A little
A little
something.
something. Well, I mean, you don't always walk around with a conga. That's a bembe. What is that? That's
That's
not a conga.
a djembe.
A djembe.
Yeah,
A
which
djembe,
is
is
a
African,
very
right?
African, kind of modernized at this point, but yeah, djembe.
But I just wanted to interject very briefly to say a special thank you to the Genographic Project who has supported us on this venture, and as well to El Museo del Barrio and the Brooklyn Museum and LaGuardia Performing Arts Center. They've all been very supportive of this project and has helped us to get this far.
Beautiful. So before they play us off, right, because you guys are going to play us off, can you please share where this is going to be presented next, because you already started running it, and you're actually traveling to different museums throughout New York, right?
Yes.
Right.
And so the next one is at the Museo del Barrio, right?
So in fact, our opening night is at Museo del Barrio, but we're actually having a preview for those audience members who want to travel over to Long Island City. We're having a preview at LaGuardia Performing Arts Center next Friday at 7 p.m. And then the grand opening of the show is at El Museo del Barrio on Saturday, the 13th of October. It follows with the 20th at Brooklyn Museum, and then we're back in Queens for the 27th and our final performance. And more information can be found on our website at www.nicoda.org. That's NICODA.org.
Thank you so much, Raquel Miller. Thank you so much. And so Marcelino, right? Marcelino Feliciano and Greer Morrison, who are two of the performers in How We Are Connected, are actually going to do a little something to send us off to break.
Absolutely.
So who wants to introduce it?
This is a song that's typical of any Caribbean island, titled Island in the Sun. And I'm going to let Greer do her thing.
All right.
Awesome.
How about I give you a little...
Just start me off with a little something. This is my island in the sun, where my people have toiled since time began.
Y dice.
I may sail on many a seas, her shores will always be home to me.
Oh, island in the sun, willed to me by my father's hands. All my days I will sing in praise of your forest waters, your shining sand. La la li li la.
As morning breaks to heaven on high, I lift my heavy load to
God.
Sun comes down with a burning glow, mixes my sweat with the earth below.
Y como? Oh, island in the sun, willed to me by my Father's hands. All my days I will sing in praise of your forest waters, your shining sands. Oh, island in the sun, willed to me by my Father's hands. All my days I will sing in praise of your forest waters, your shining sands.
Bravo! Marcelino Feliciano and Greer Morrison
so
of
much.
How We Are Connected. No, thank you. Thank you. What a beautiful way to take a break. All right, once again, for more on How We Are Connected, you can go to nicoda.org. That's NICODA.org. And when we're